Old man Woody likes the crooked cock.
There's no...
Did you have one of those guys come to your school for like chewing tobacco or cigarettes? We had that chewing tobacco guy come with like a little jar. He told us that he wishes he could go back, and it was just.
We
so
had a
scary.
meth guy come. We had a meth guy come, and he was talking about all the dirty sexual things that he did to earn money, and he was talking about how it was awful. And we're back there laughing our asses off. We're 15, 16, 17-year-old kids who we just did gym. We're all hyped up. And then you got this fucker up there crying about having to suck some dick for a gram of meth or something. We thought it was hilarious. Like that made no impact on us.
Did he get?
He was not very in depth, but like he got his point across without being graphic. He was just like the things you'll do. Going in, and it was just him. You know, he looked like shit. Of course, he had the meth face. So like it was like I mean I've seen the commercials. Like I am not gonna do any meth. Like if I got diagnosed with like some awful disease and I'm gonna die soon, yeah, let's meth it the fuck up because it seems like one hell of a ride from everything I've seen in all the Breaking Bad episodes. So yeah, sure then. But it's one of those drugs that I don't usually fall for that dare propaganda bullshit. But when they say meth, not even once, I'm like, deal.
Yeah, there's some of those drugs that just fall into the don't even consider it, like meth.
Yeah, not
heroin.
even once. I'll never forget when I was hanging out with those guys that I didn't know very well, and I was just like, we're just like in the backyard of a house smoking cigarettes, and I was just like, meth came up, and kind of in the same jokey way we're describing it right now, and I was like, you ever seen those commercials, man? Meth, I'm on board with that. Not even once. And the one guy was like, I tried it a few times, and the other guy was like, and I looked at him like, what the fuck? And the other guy was, yeah, me too, you know. And I was just like, all right, boys, I'm going to get the fuck up out of here. I had no idea. I'm out of here.
Like, no, it's fine. I'm just a weekend tweaker. You know, I dabble. I dabble in...
Heroin's the one, man. Heroin, I've never tried heroin. But I did this short-lived video series on my channel that talked about what cocaine was like, what heroin was like, and maybe some others. And... these were like hardcore addicts, and I would just read their stories. And heroin was the one that like just made everything okay. He's like, it's 5 a.m., you're driving to work, you're stuck in traffic in the city, it's raining, and every drop is beautiful. You know, like you can go to work on heroin. You can function on heroin. It just makes you happy. It just makes everything okay. Until it spirals out of control, until you build a tolerance, until like it goes terrible. It's wrecking your body. You can't feel well without heroin. You can't be happy unless you're on heroin. But the initial stages of the addiction, the whole like, yeah, like there's all these problems, but I am content and fulfilled. Like people who find Jesus, you know, like it filled that hole that was in me. Heroin and Jesus, very similar.
I don't think... And I've never done heroin, but I know it's just a really strong opioid. Like if you took a ton of Vicodin or OxyContin or something like that, I don't think you can function if you shoot up a bunch of heroin into your arm. Like it's basically like even the people who you can snort it.
I'm mixing
like
it
you know
up.
those when you watch those Sherlock Holmes TV shows and they walk into the opium den and everybody's just laying on bean bags, not even responsive with their opium hookahs. Like that's not even as intense as injecting it, and those guys are laying around like they're borderline dead. Granted, that was Sherlock Holmes, and I have no experience, so I don't know.
I've been an opiate.
I do not think you could function on heroin.
Actually, this is an obvious.
I've known people who used to be heroin addicts, and one of them used to shoot heroin, and the other one had only ever snorted heroin because she was so skeeved out by needles, I guess. So I guess that's a good thing. But apparently when she was snorting heroin, she could operate fairly well doing basic. Go ahead.
I have a video and I want to, it's my own. It's like 3.5 minutes. I think I want to watch. I gave the timestamp for when the interesting stuff starts. Can we watch it together?
Sure.
So I'm at 35 seconds.
Same.
I am as well.
All right. That should be very close to when it starts. Ready, set, play.
The question was, what is heroin like? And here's the response. Actually, this is an obvious question, but it's not what you might think. Let me explain it to you. I've been an opiate addict for a long time, and I've tried many drugs. Drugs that are uppers have the most obvious euphoria. For example, like if you take Adderall, Coke, meth, speed, MDMA, you will get this shining, bright euphoria, self-confidence, energy, and other drug-specific feelings. For meth, like you are king. For MDMA, like you love everyone. However, you owe these drugs back what they delivered to you. After a meth binge, or lots of MDMA use, or staying up all night on Coke, you will feel like shit. To an extent, this is similar to an alcoholic hangover. On the other hand, for people who experiment with heroin, they are underwhelmed. Not including IV usage, but most experimenters rarely IV the first time. They just feel good, chill, happy, but they feel like the spooky drug heroin hasn't delivered. They're just mellow. Oh, and obviously it's all been a lie, they will think. Heroin isn't spooky, it's chill. It's not addictive like everyone else thinks. It doesn't make you do stupid shit or stay up all night and hallucinate like amphetamines or coke. It doesn't empty your serotonin like MDMA or give you a hangover like alcohol. People tend to think, oh, what a nice drug. So the next day they wake up and everything is normal. No headache or shitty feeling, just a slight afterglow of that nice feeling. Oh, and it was cheap as well. It only cost $10 for a whole night of being high. I thought people said heroin was expensive. And then the next weekend comes. There are all these drugs I could do, but I liked heroin. It didn't fuck me up. I could still think clearly. No hangover, no feeling like shit later. I was still awake. It just made me happy and content with life. Oh, and it's only $10. Well, I should get some more for the whole weekend. This is great. I will use heroin on the weekends now. Now let's say this person works and has responsibilities. He knows he can't go into work drunk or on MDMA or high, so he doesn't. It's actually simple. But heroin, the user might actually find they do work better on heroin. Instead of being sad or grumpy or depressed with his job, he is just happy, mellow, content. Everything is fine, and the world is beautiful. It's raining. It's dark. I woke up at 5:30 a.m. I'm commuting in traffic. I would have had a headache. I would have been miserable. I would have wondered how my life took me to this point I'm at right now. But no, everything is fine. Life is beautiful. The raindrops are falling, and in each one I see the reflection of every person's life around me. Humanity is beautiful. I'm in this still frame shot of traffic on this crowded bus, and I just found love and peace. Heroin is a wonder drug. Heroin is better than anything else. Heroin makes me who I wish I was. Heroin makes life worth living. Heroin is better than everything else. Heroin builds up a tolerance fast. Heroin starts to cost more money. I need heroin to feel normal. I don't love anymore. Now I'm sick. I can't afford the heroin I need. How did $10 used to get me high? Now I need $100. That guy that let me try a few lines the first time doesn't actually deal. Now I need to find a real dealer. The guy is a felon and he carries a gun and he can sell me the drug that lets me find love in the world. No, this isn't working. I need to quit. To answer your question, heroin feels nice. That's all. It just feels very nice. You can make up the rest for yourself. Attach your own half-truths to this drug that will show you the world, and for a moment, you will feel as clever as Faust.
That's it.
And now my next letter.
That, as far as I know, is what heroin is like. It kicks off just nice, just content, just happy. Like it gives you the life you wish you had, and then it just starts wrecking you.
If you had only put the first 2 paragraphs in your video and cut it off after that, you could have ruined hundreds of thousands of lives. Like, it makes me who I wish I was.
Great.
I am happy, you know?
Content. Yeah. You know, he's like, I see the lives of everyone around me in each raindrop. I can work on this drug, maybe even better. Like, that to me was one of the biggest dangers about it. Like, you can't go to work drunk. You know, if you're an alcoholic, you need to hide that shit, unless you're a live streamer. If you're a if you're on coke, if you're on, I don't know about coke, I'm sort of speaking outside of my expertise, but if you're on a lot of drugs, MDMA, he said, you can't go to work high on that stuff. But heroin, yeah, it's just a happier version of you, a content.
I bet you could work on meth, on coke, on marijuana. I I would think that the ones that it would be difficult to like work on would be the hallucinogenic ones and the ones that that really like MDMA,
LSD.
maybe anything like that. Anything that's going to be psychedelic, mushrooms. I would imagine. Any of that stuff that would actually fuck up your perception of the world around you. Can you imagine you're working at like a meat processing plant, your hands going in the grinder, and you just see rainbows shooting out the other end. You're like, woo! let's do it again.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want that.
But you were talking about like, if I knew the world was going to end, well, shit.
Oh yeah,
heroin.
Yeah.
That guy's an effective advertiser for.
That sounds fucking
if you're dying
awesome,
in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I were to, if it were the end, it's all going to be sealed up, I'd go buy a few $1,000s worth of fucking heroin, I think. That sounds like one hell of a time. Sounds like it would ruin your life, though. Even if you just, I guess you could try it once, but that you would have to be real strict. You'd have to be like, that's it. Just the one time.
I can't co-sign on the just try once thing.
It never goes wrong.
Because he describes that. Oh, that was a thing. So I did that as a series. I know I did coke. I think I might have done alcohol. I forget. But the common theme through a lot of the hard drugs was that at first you feel like everybody else is wrong. Like, yeah, I'm doing coke. I'm doing heroin. I think I did meth. I'm not sure. But I would read a lot of these letters, a lot more than made it into videos, and they all kind of like started as, you know what, it's not as bad as everyone tells you it is, and but they escalate into every bit as bad as everyone tells you it is.
Yeah, not even once.
Yeah, my brother-in-law died from a heart attack because he did coke.
Damn.
Yeah, and it was a shame because the heart it damaged his heart, and he was a vice president of a bank. He had a family. He must have been. Was he doing a lot? Was he a cocaine abuser? Or? He did it in college, basically. One would guess that he did too much because it did kill him. But how do they?
I'm sure you could work on coke. That whole.
I'm wondering, did they directly link it to that? Like, was that what the doctors said and everything?
It was a known thing before he died that his coke had damaged his heart, and he was like, sort of trying to regulate it, and like.
And he just did it in college?
I can't. I'm not. I feel like I'm talking outside of my expertise, but that's pretty much it. It peaked in college.
Because I fear about people like doing so much that they ruin their nose. The inside of their nose is gone, but their hearts don't give out.
That's how this came up to me. Like you said, what was the drug your high school people did?
Oh,
they sucked dick for this drug.
Oh, meth.
Meth. Yeah. Okay, it was coke. When I was in high school, cokeheads came, and the guy took a. It was like a twine or like a cloth string, and he went through one nostril and out the other, and sort of demoed how coke had burnt a hole in his nose. And I think people can do that anyway or something, can't they?
Yeah, but they're going up. They're going up back here. You can do it too. He didn't have anything in between the nostrils, though. I
think he had. It was a much less of a talent.
Yeah,
he just kind of stuffed it over.
Get yourself a spaghetti noodle and just keep snorting it, and eventually it'll come out your throat or out the other nostril. I guess it would.
Or just look at a diagram online, and don't do that because that's disgusting. Don't tell people to sniff wet spaghetti.
Make some videos of you doing the spaghetti trick.
I ended on that note. I love the wordplay.
That was the best shit I've ever heard.